give ourselves permission to think about that question for a minute, because I do want to hear what all of you have to say. I want to hear your beautiful answer as to what governs you. What is the thing that you use to govern you? And had you even thought about that before? Had you ever gave yourself permission to say, what governs me? What do I live by? What is the thing that I live by? What governs me? What governs me is the question. What governs me? Give yourself permission to ask that question. What governs you? Sometimes for people, it's philosophy that governs them. Sometimes for people, it's ancient wisdom that governs them. Sometimes for people, it's what grandma always taught me. You know, sometimes for people, it's religion. Sometimes for people, it's structure that has been given to them by friends or family. But what governs you? What is the thing that you use to hold yourself accountable for yourself, for your actions, for your thoughts, for your movement, for your thinking? What governs you? And when you're ready, just raise your hand and I'll just call you one by one. What governs you? What governs you? And I think the way you raise your hand is you just go to your name and hit the button that says raise your hand. And for everyone who is here on Facebook, I am actually in the class, so I won't be able to answer any questions right now, but I will definitely go back and answer any questions that you may have. I will try to get beautiful Mary in. But even though I can't respond to you, you can still participate. But I'm talking to the potential future master coaches right now, and I want to know what governs you. What do you use to govern you? All right. Miss Regina, just unmute yourself.
Greetings, beloved.
Greetings.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. A little raspy in the voice today, but I am still here. Okay.
Hey.
Okay. What governs me through life is love. Love through ancient wisdom, life experiences, relationships, and studies that I have desired and decided to undertake. And that's not textbook. That's not merely textbook. That is truly, truly going deep within study on a spiritual level as well as a physical level. So love is my motivating factor. It's the electricity that leads me through everything, whether it's an Eros experience or where it is a spiritual connectivity from myself to another entity, be it a plant, an animal, or another human being.
Ashe. 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 Question is, what governs you? What governs you? Okay, Kathy, you're up, beautiful. What governs you?
There we go. When you asked that, the first thing that I started thinking about was truly like what does govern me, because I never really thought about it, but what there is my soul, my spirit governs me. I think when I'm going to do something or participate in something, some things are autopilot, like going to work and my everyday daily routine. But if I go outside of that, or I'm in a situation with another person, what governs me is one of my feelings, soul, which is my spirit feel. And I usually just tap into that because I know that the answers come from there. Like my answers are inside of me.
Ashe. Ashe. All right. What governs you? What governs you? Talani.
Okay. For me, it now that I've like actually heard answers and got the question a little bit more for understanding, it used to be my emotions. My emotions used to govern me a lot. One of the questions you had asked was, what is the thing that moves you? And a lot of times I used to get moved by my emotions. I'm still working on it now where my emotions doesn't govern me as much as they should, as much as they used to. And also my inner self, like my inner being, the God in me, it is now beginning to govern me. I'm listening to God more. I'm listening to my inner self more to see which way I should go. What should I do? And even stopping myself sometimes when I feel like I'm about to do something. It's like God in me would tell me, don't do that. Don't say that. Be careful, Talani. I'm like, all right. And then other times I'll find myself going back to my emotions. So it's a mix right now, but I'm still learning.
Ashe. Ashe. Beautiful. What governs you? What governs you? Sherelle.
We pretty much have the same answer. Initially, I'll start out with my emotions governing me because I have to get better at working on not being so emotional. In the background, my spirituality does kick in. Most of the times after my emotions, I've reacted from my emotions. So I'm in the process of thinking about what I should be doing on a spiritual level. But again, I react a lot of the times. So I might start out wrong, but after a while, I'll settle down. And when I do settle down, that's when I can hear, God's word, and then I'll start making the corrections. That's probably more 95% of the times of what governs me, because I'm working towards being more spiritual, and then asking, God to help me with meditating on His word, because I want that to be what I'm governed by.
Ashe. 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 Thank you, beautiful. All right, the question on the table is, what governs you? The veil. Unmute yourself. What governs you?
Okay. Hello, everybody. First of all, what governs me is love, sharing love and compassion with others. Second of all, governs me would be the Holy Spirit, because I allow the Holy Spirit to lead me and guide me each and every day of my life. So I'm constantly listening to the Holy Spirit. So that's the main thing that governs me each and every day of my life, the Holy Spirit.
Ashe. Beautiful Shanice is next. What governs you? What is the thing that governs you? I don't see your hand, Alicia. I don't see your hand, Chandra, but I see you got your baby in your hand. So we'll come to you last, Chandra. Okay, Shanice, what governs you?
Oh, Lord. This is interesting because I just had an experience that made me it brought my emotions out. But at the same time, when I was mad, I knew being mad was messed up. So I felt my spirit, I felt my soul calm me down. And I feel like it's more my spirit, my soul that governs me. My emotions kick in, like, you know what I'm saying? Emotions are gonna kick in regardless. You just have to learn how to, I guess, pump your brakes, notice, be aware when they're, because that's how it was. Like, I was mad, but at the same time, I was like, okay, this is messed up. I shouldn't be mad. I felt my soul pulling me back, like, okay, calm down. All is well. All is good. Just bring it back. So, yeah, I would say it's my soul, my spirit, divine source, what you want to call that magnificent thing that governs me all around.
Ashe. Ashe. All right, so it's only Alicia and Chandra left. What governs you? What is the thing that governs you?
What governs me? Well, my life experiences, for one. The spirit guides me as well and keeps me centered. Me being a Gemini, I know I have to learn how to be centered because I have like two different complete personalities. So it's like I have to be centered, become one with myself in order to be able to focus on my everyday life. So basically the spirit guides me. And I also listen to a lot of different type of music. So that also helps me throughout my day.
Ashe.
Basically.
Ashe.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of at work trying to get the clients' lunches together.
That's okay. That's okay. What governs you? And Chandra, do you need me to come back to you? Chandra, do you need me to come back to you?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to you, Chandra, because
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
Okay. I would say my spirituality, my higher self, I try to stay centered in love as much as possible. I know that, just like anybody, oftentimes I get overcome, with emotion, and then that kind of clouds things. But I try my best to remain, it's okay. We have an ear infection. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go take care of the baby. But just listen to him. Take care of the baby.
Yeah,
No, take care of the baby. And just listen in.
okay.
That's okay. All right. So I think you got to mute yourself because it won't let me mute you. Okay. So it's very interesting when you go and start asking yourself the question, what governs you? And you notice that as we went around the room, one of the things that everyone shared in common was either God, their higher self, the Holy Spirit, or some divine entity that is within themselves. This is so important because when we go back to the very first class, Who is God? That's why the Who is God class is so important, because in order to really have a good scope on what is governing you, you must first, once you find out what's governing you, and most of you here said God, the Holy Spirit, the divine, all of that's the same to me, just a different way to say it. Once you identify that is what's governing you, then it's important to really become aware from your own perspective, not from someone else's teaching, your own perspective, your own relationship with the divine, so you can understand your current movement. Now, one of the things you said that was so beautiful, Talani and Sherelle said it, And I love this answer. They said their emotions and that they would like to come, that they're working on moving away from their emotions. Well, before you do that, let me ask you a question. I want to ask everybody here a question. Does everyone here, and you can just do this by show of hands, does everyone here believe you will have whatsoever you say? Okay. So I just want you, for those who didn't raise their hand, I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer this question. For those who do not believe that you will have whatsoever you say, will you raise your hand like this? Okay, so we don't. All right, so I'm going to ask the question again. And if you agree that you have whatsoever you say, just do like this with your hand. Sherelle, I can't see your hand, so I don't know what your answer is. Okay, I see you, Kathy. I see you, Talani. I see you, Shanice. I see you, Alicia. I see you, Lavelle. I see you, Chandra. And I see you, Kiki. And I don't see, I saw Miss Regina. Sherelle is who I didn't see. It looks like her phone got cut out. All right, so for the most part, everyone here ascribes to you will have whatsoever you say. Has there ever been a time where you said something and you did not have it? If so, just raise your hand. Okay, so the only people hand I don't see is Alicia. Just shake your head if you have ever said something. Okay, and Kiki. Kiki, I can't see you. Okay, all right. So everyone here has said something and did not receive it. I'm gonna show you how beautiful this is, guys. I'm gonna do this one more time. Don't worry. I do this sometimes. Sometimes I ask the same question 2 or 3 times because there are beautiful questions with people who are doing amazing work, giving beautiful answers. And you're going to see something that's going to shock your world in just a minute. Do you believe that you will have what you say? Do you believe that you will have what you say? If so, just do like this. All right, everybody says yes. Has there been a time where you have said something and you did not get it? If so, just do like this. Right. If you believe you have what you say and you do not have what you say, why do you believe it? You gotta go last, Kathy. And I don't want anyone to answer fast. I just want you to see how beautiful this is. If you believe you will have whatever you say, but when you speak, you do not have what you say. Sometimes there's been times where you spoke and you did not have what you say. Why is that? You have to go last, Talani. I want everyone to really think about it. I believe, I'm going to repeat you guys. I believe I have what I say. When I speak, I do not have what I say all the time. Had you ever even thought about it like that? If so, just shake your head. No, I never thought about it like that. Have you ever thought about it like that? Have you ever thought, I will have whatsoever I say, and then, no, I don't have whatsoever I say. I just want you to give yourself permission to think about it for a second. That's all. I just want you to give yourself permission to think about it for a second. Had you ever thought, I have whatsoever I say, and then you did not have whatsoever you said? That's major. That's not a small awareness. That's a huge awareness. That is not a small awareness. That is a huge awareness. And I want you to give yourself permission to see that awareness. All right? So now raise your hand if you can. Let me lower everyone's hands first. Lower all hands. All right. So just raise your hand if you are able to put two things together, and or just share what that awareness meant for you. That's what I want to do first. Share what the awareness meant to you. Don't share anything else. No answers, no logic, no reasoning. I don't want to hear any of that. I just only want to hear, what did that awareness feel like? What did that awareness mean to you? When you are taught, I will have whatsoever I say. And I asked you the question, do you believe that you will have whatsoever you say? And you said yes. And then I said, do you have whatsoever you say? And you were able to say no. So just unmute yourself. Raise your hand if you care to tell me, if you can tell me how that made you feel. How did the awareness of that feel? Okay, and that's it. How did the awareness of that feel? I don't want to hear any other answer. Just how did the awareness of that feel? Okay? All right, Miss Regina, unmute yourself.
Unremarkable joy.
Ashe. You said the awareness of that brought unmarkable joy. Ashe. Ashe. Very good. Ashe. And all your answers are going to be very good, so I don't want anyone to think that they have to mimic that answer. The awareness of your own self is a beautiful thing. It's always beautiful. So how did you feel about that awareness, Talani? How did that awareness make you feel?
For me,
Yes.
I started off angry. Now that I'm learning more, I'm happy. I'm actually okay with not getting everything I say.
No, I don't want you to do that one. I want you to just say how that awareness made you feel, not the elaboration of it.
Okay.
Yeah, just the awareness of that. So I got you. You said it used to make you feel sad, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have had this awareness before. So if you had this awareness before, why did you say yes when I asked, do you believe you will have whatever you say? Don't answer that now, come back to you. Lavelle, how did that awareness make you feel?
First, happiness and enlightenment.
Happiness and excitement.
And enlightenment. You know,
Oh, enlightenment. Ashe. Ashe. It's beautiful. Ashe. I say, all right, Kathy. How did that awareness make you feel?
There we go. It made me feel really aware. Really aware. Like, whoa. Yeah, I get it.
I say. Beautiful. So the question is, and I'm just gonna let you. I'm not gonna repeat the question after this. The question is, I asked everyone, do you believe you'll have what you say? Everyone said yes. And then I said, have you spoke something and it was not so? And you said yes. So my question then is, I believe I have what I say, but I don't have what I say. How did the awareness of that make you feel? All right, Alicia. And then Kiki. And then Shanice.
Well, that was like eye-opening, basically, because it's like you need to have faith in order to move forward with something that you want to have. So, it's just basically having faith. And it made me have
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what your element is. Don't do that. Just how did you feel? Now I don't want to hear about your faith or any of that. Just how did you feel knowing that your belief?
Kind of at first I was depressed about it, like dang. And then I was like, okay, I got understanding. Like I have to, basically depressed. It was a sad feeling. Like dang, I ain't got it, but I'm thinking I do because I want it.
I say, you and I are the same. It's exactly how I felt the very first time I did this exercise. You and I have the same exact answer. I didn't have all that beautiful stuff they had. I had what you just had.
Yeah, like dang.
I say. All right. Who's Kiki? Is it Kiki or Shanice? Kiki.
Hello. Confused.
I say.
Confused.
I say. Beautiful. Shanice. Beautiful Kiki. Shanice.
I felt bad and disappointed.
I say. I mimic you. I mimic Elisa. I mimic Shanice. I mimic Kiki. Now, I didn't get to Lavelle's answer or Miss Regina's answer or Kathy's answer until years of being enlightened. But that was not my first. The first time it happened to me, I felt the way you guys felt. And I remember asking the spirit, well, dang, I don't have whatsoever I say. And I have a problem with that. I remember telling the spirit, I got a problem with that. I don't have whatsoever I say. So either this is real or it's not. One of these things is either real or it's not. Now, what did I come up with after that? Now that you answered that question, because you guys wanted to give me your whys. I didn't want your whys. I wanted just how you felt, not your whys, like you were getting ready to tell me your faith and all that. No, now I want to hear about your whys. So when you heard that, after you had the feeling, no, I don't have whatsoever I say. Then you start thinking. You start thinking when you do that, you go, I don't have whatsoever I say. And then you start this process inside of yourself. I'll tell you what that process is after you answer this question. You guys are going to see how amazing you are. Because there's a process that goes on after your awareness. When you go, oh my gosh, I don't have whatsoever I say. The world? Which is what Talani was about to go into. Okay, so now that you had the awareness, Talani, what was getting ready to come after that? You started saying something about you didn't need it or something.
I I realized certain things I didn't need, and I was saying like I wanted, or I was just saying things, and then I realized other things was because I wasn't in alignment with myself and with God. So I wasn't going to get it. And some things I was saying I wanted, and I kept saying I'm not getting it. And it's not that I wasn't getting it, it just wasn't my time to get it. So I'm starting to see things that I did say I wanted starting to come. It's just that I had to align myself first.
Okay. Stay right there. Alicia. Now go on with your faith talk. Now it's time for your faith talk. Give me your faith talk.
When I feel depressed about that, I just have to start putting my mental in with my faith. Because in order for me to understand that, you got to have faith in order to prosper in anything you want to do. Then I have to understand that with myself. Keeping your faith up and with being one with yourself and one with God, that's all you really need in order to prosper and get what you want. That's the way I look at life and things now, because like she just said, like certain things I wanted like now, it wasn't time for me to have. Certain things that I had, I lost immediately because I wasn't supposed to have it at that time. Cars and all kind of stuff. It wasn't my time to have that right then and there. I was supposed to wait and go through my little trials and tribulations in order for me to understand and be able to appreciate when it was supposed to give it to me. So basically that's what my situation was.
So this is so. Does anybody have anything that they want to say before I move to the next part of this exercise? If so, just unmute yourself.
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, mine was faith. Second of all, it was obedience. Third of all, it was respect. And number 4 was obeying the Holy Spirit.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead, Kathy.
I was thinking about like the things that I didn't have that I said I wanted, but it wasn't necessarily that, because another thought jumped into my brain, and it was like, but do you really say that you have it, or are you afraid to say what you want, what you really want? Like, I feel like I don't deserve it. That was my wow moment. I was like, do I really say what I want for me?
I say. But even if you don't say what you want, if you say something that is whatever, if you say it, the question was, if you say it, will you have whatsoever you say? So, if the question is, you will have whatsoever you say, and then you notice that you don't have whatsoever you say, what happens is your mind starts to go in and adjust and give it logic, so it can continue to keep you in your belief system, as opposed to allowing yourself to recognize you don't have whatsoever you say. Now, for all my Bible thumpers and my Christian people out there, don't go nowhere, because they'll be running. Well, the Lord said you gotta wait. And I always used to say, well, why would God tell me I gotta wait? Because all that stuff went through my head too. Alicia, I'm so glad you're here, because I declare that this time next year, you won't be saying what you're saying now. Let me preach for a second. I hate it when I start talking. But Elisa, you're going to cause a lot of conversations in this space. I remember feeling like you felt. I remember saying, even with this question, I don't have whatever I say, so I didn't deserve it. And then Lavelle topped it off with obedience, respect, and obeying. There are people in this world who are disrespectful, they're not obedient, and they don't obey, but they will still have it. So obedience, disrespect, and obeying does not necessarily tie you to you having what you want. I remember feeling like that was my truth, though. I remember saying, well, God, I gotta be obedient. What did I do wrong? Did I piss you off? Did I not do this? Wasn't I obedient to this? Did I disrespect you in some kind of way? Are you testing me? I gotta go through trials and tribulations because that's what people told me. I had to go through trials and tribulations. So trials and tribulations is what I always had to get something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, because I actually bought that and it became real for me. So, what do you have? If you do not have what you say, how do you have? Becomes the next question. What do you have? So, I want you to take a minute and I want you to think about something that you had, something that you said and you got it. And you got it just like you said it. Take a minute and think about a moment where you wanted something so bad and you got it. You wanted it, you knew you were going to get it, and you got it. Go back to one of those memories. Take your time. And I'm gonna try to lower everyone's hands. And when you have that memory inside of you, raise your hand. This is something that you wanted and you got it. You wanted it more than anything in the world and you got it. Go back and grab that memory. Go back and grab that memory. And when you have it, just raise your hand. You are sitting in on the new practice class. This is day 1. This is a preview of the new practice class. All right, beautiful. Who was the first person? Talani, what did you want? And you got it.
Okay, so for a long time, it was years, I was writing this lady that I really wanted to be up under. And I was writing her, telling her I wanted to be her model, I wanted to do this for, I wanted to do that for, I wanted to work up under her. Then one day she wrote me and I'm thinking, oh my God, thank you, God. Like, this lady finally wrote me. I'm going to leave it at that. But I got it. But it wasn't what I wanted.
But at the time, once you got it, you discovered you didn't want it.
Yeah.
But before you got it, it was something that you wanted.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know you were going to get it?
I believed in my heart that I was going to get it. I just didn't know when or how.
Ashe. All right, stay right there. Alicia.
Yes. When I got my first car, I was working to save up for it and working because I really wanted a truck. And when I was able to actually get it, that was like the best moment in my life. Like, I finally got my first car. Got it by myself. Yes. But then I ended up with in an accident. So obviously it wasn't meant for me to have at that moment.
What? You guys are something else. Obviously, it wasn't meant for me to have at that moment.
It wasn't meant.
Do you know that every time you speak, you say something like that?
Huh.
It wasn't meant for me to have it. I got to go through trials and tribulation. It's a struggle. It's okay. It's okay. It's beautiful to be able to be aware of it. This it's beautiful to be able to be aware of it. So let me ask you a question. Before the car got wrecked, when you wanted that car, did you know you were going to get it?
Yes, because I was working hard for it and working hard to get it. So yeah, I had it in my mind that I wanted it, and I knew I had it, the drive to get it. So yeah.
Do you remember that feeling that you had when you said, "I want to get my first car"?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that feeling?
Yes, it's the same feeling I got when I asked you did I actually get the scholarship, and you said yes. That was the same feeling.
So many of you have got the scholarship. Everyone doesn't know yet. I asked you guys not to say who got the scholarship. So if you did not get an email, it doesn't mean you didn't get it. Okay? All right. Some people I called privately because I could feel their spirit, and there was more than one person who got it. Okay?
But I like this though. This is
So do not think that you did not get it because you did not get a call. Okay. Go ahead. I told Alicia, don't tell anybody yet because I haven't made all the calls. She gets right up.
My bad, everybody. I'm sorry.
But no worries. I want everyone to know that I'm not finished calling. Okay. All right. So you remember the feeling? Okay. All right. And Talani, you remember the feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So there's another person who has Shanice.
Yes.
Unmute yourself. What was the experience that you had that you wanted something and you got it?
I really don't remember what it was, but I do remember the feeling. And when I got it, it scared the crap out of me because I was like, whoa. I manifested that. Whoa. It kind of took me back because I had never spoke something and it actually came. And I want to say it was when I won at one of Ellen's 12 Days of Christmas. I want to say it was when it was that, because I was like, I'm gonna win. And lo and behold, it manifested. I was like, oh snap. And it, like I said, it just took me back, and I was kind of like scared because I feel like, okay, I have this power. I need to be careful. What's that? Oh my God, what's that quote that your girl says? That we're not scared of being unpowerful. We're scared of how powerful we are. That's how I felt. I felt like, oh my God, like I do have this power. And
I say
it manifested. So yeah, I that's how I felt. It took back like, whoa.
I say. That's, and so if you had to go and look, now that you heard this conversation that we've had now, and you look at the creative power, when you look at the creative power and how you create in this world and how you create in this space, what is the thing that you noticed that was a part of the creation story? What is the thing that you noticed that is a part of the creation story? Nobody noticed it. There's one core thing that everyone shared that was a part of the creation story.
Can you elaborate just a little bit more?
Yes. There was something that was missing in the creation story. The creation story is, I will have whatsoever I say. That's the creation story. How do we create? How are things created? And we have ruled out we will have whatsoever we say, because when we say things, we don't always have what we say. So there is something missing from that puzzle. So then I asked, how are you guys creating? What is the thing that, I took you back to your very first time you created. And I had you go back and identify with something so you can see what was the thing that caused the creation to manifest itself. I see, I know you got your hand up, Lavelle. Does anybody else know? All right. So go ahead, Lavelle.
The creation, number one thing is by thinking the thoughts that are within yourself. When you think of something, of your thoughts, it becomes manifestation. You can also speak it. Once you speak, it comes to existence. But it deals with your mind as well when you're thinking to bring thoughts. So it makes manifestation for things to come to pass.
So what's the part that was missing?
Let's see. The part that was missing, I pick up that some of them didn't have like belief in
you, not them. You.
Okay, like believing within myself. You know, like believing that it was gonna come to pass, believing that it was gonna be manifested. You know, but then when I continue to think through my thoughts, it brought strength into bringing it into existence, manifestation.
So I like that. Anybody else? Go ahead, Kathy.
I have a question with my answer. You said something about logic, right? Mm-hmm. Did you? Okay. When I created something, when I said it and I brought it into existence, I created it in my mind. My logical mind ruled out any reason why I couldn't have what I wanted, what I asked for, what I said. So I tied those two together. Like, I couldn't think of any reason. The momentum was there, the money was there. I was taking the steps, I was doing the work. I knew that what I said, I'm gonna get that, and I did.
You said you knew you was gonna get that, and you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You knew you were gonna get it, and you got it.
Yep.
That's bringing it home for this conversation for me. The thing is so beautiful, because I asked everybody, did you know it? And for everybody who knew it, it happened. Not believed it, because sometimes you can believe something and it doesn't come true. Yeah. But when you know it, it is. It is. And you have given your own self that evidence. I didn't teach you that. You ain't got that out your own database. Because I just asked you the question, did you know it? And you said yes. And you said, when I knew it, it was. So it comes a place where when you know something by your own words, it's also mine. When I know something, it is. Sometimes you hear me do it in a hearing. I said, I'm not asking you. I'm not questioning it. I know it. When I know it, that's it. So we can go through our process of talking. We can go through our process of thinking. We can go through our process of believing. But the minute we know it, over it. Over it. So you guys did amazing. You did amazing. So the homework for this week is to take a scenario that was very challenging. I want you to think of a challenging scenario that has either taken place in your life or is about to take place in your life. That has either taken place in your life or about to take place in your life. And we're going to talk about it in the class. In class, and you know, when we meet again, it won't be on Facebook because we'll be in the class. I'm just doing this today to give a preview of what the class looks like. This is the class, Be a New Practice. This is the second class that you take when you are becoming a master life coach. Everyone here that you see on the panel has applied for the scholarship for the Master Life Coaching class. Some of you, there was only one scholarship, but I ended up putting in two spots, and someone else put in another spot. Everyone has not been notified. Everyone has not been notified. We were going to be notifying each of you. Remember, I shared with you guys that there were two piles. One pile was a full scholarship, and there was another pile that was a partial scholarship. Some of you have gotten called about the scholarship, but not everyone has been called. And I apologize if anyone feels away. Do not feel away, because it's not over. It is not over. Okay? Today is Wednesday. I had promised everybody that we would have this, everyone would be notified by Thursday, but I think it's going to end up being by Friday because we have one more class to go. And for every class and every time we're meeting, you know, it means something. It means something. So keep coming to the class. Don't stop coming. I want to thank you guys. You guys did an amazing job. How do you guys feel about the class today? Did you get anything out of the first day? This is the first day of the class. Did you take anything away? Raise your hand if just do like this. Did you take away anything today? Ashe. Good. Good. Well, this is phase one of the New Practice class, What Governs You. What governs you a lot of times is also a part of your creation story. So this is a journey that we're going to be on. And we're going to be meeting inside this whole process. We will be meeting once a week. We will be meeting once a week, so we'll be doing this very often. Won't be on Facebook like this because the classes are private and because they're fee based. So I don't sit up here and do the classes, but the first day of the class, yes. So this is just the first day of many classes that you guys will be taking. Next time we meet, we'll be doing the Healing Circle class. The Healing Circle class. That's why I'm asking you to go back and grab you a piece of memory of something that was hard to deal with, something that was hard to recover from, or something that you're that's hard for you, but you can talk about it because we're going to be online. So don't grab anything that you can't talk about online, but do grab something that was hard for you. Okay? All right. And that's it for our class today. You guys did amazing. Guys did amazing. So when you're asked the question, do you have whatsoever you say, what is your truth now? You know, it's so important to get the truths out. And this is one of the things I would tell the people who are in, you guys know I was raised as a Christian. I believe now that I'm all religious. I don't believe I'm just a Christian. I believe I'm all, because I believe God is everywhere. There's no place that I can go that God is not. That is my new awareness. So I am all of those things. But I remember when I got to that place, and I would communicate with my community, and some of my Christian brothers and sisters would still say to me, "You're going to hell. There's only one way." And it would be very challenging for them to have communications with me and try to resell me on things. Like, even this was one of them. You'll have whatsoever you say. And I said, that's not true. So what happens is, when you start saying you'll have whatsoever you say, but you're not having it, you're not living in your truth. And I live in my truth. So you're coming to me trying to sell me lies because you got all these conditions behind you, but you got it. Well, then that means I'm not having it when I say it. You have it if you have it. Then there's a combination of things. You got to tell me the whole picture. Don't tell me I'll have whatsoever I say when it's not true. Because then I'm mad that I don't have what I say. And then I'm mad at God. Because I'm supposed to be having what I say. God ain't showing up. But then you tell me I got to suffer. I got to suffer and go through tumultuous time and wait. You can have that, God. Bye, Felicia. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. You can't sell me on it now. God, you have to be, you have to wait, because God's going to test you. God's going to challenge you. You got to be, it's just too much. I remember telling God, I'm better than you. Yeah, I did say that. I saw your face, Harriet. I did. I said, I'm better than you. Because if my neighbor whooped my tail, I'm not giving him hell. If somebody does something wrong, you always killing people. Death is your answer. You kill them and you send them to hell. But you want me to serve you? I wouldn't do that. So some of the stuff that, I had to release myself from, so that I really could enjoy God. Because God is amazing. God is amazing. What man put on God is some crap. That's why that first class is so important. Who is God is so important. Because when you're letting God rule you, right? Many of you have said, whatever the Holy Spirit says, whatever God says, but in your mind, God makes you do this, and God makes you do that, and God looks like this. You are having that hell, and you don't even know why. You don't even know why you're having hell. When you're trying to figure out, why can't this happen for me in my life? Well, it can't happen for you in your life if you're going to be tested by God. God's testing me. God's trying my faith. Golly, he don't know you. He got to test you. She got to test you. It's got to test you because it doesn't know you. Are you kidding me? So if in your mind God tests you and God makes you suffer through before you can get it, and if it's never in God's perfect time, because you've been taught in God's perfect time. So if you have all that running in your mind and that's what's governing you, you can't ever get ahead. Imagine God always being there right when you call. Well, they got a song, may not come when you call him, but he'll be there right on time. Oh, God comes the minute I call. I don't know what y'all doing, and if you happy waiting on him, keep on waiting, because I don't know that relationship. I don't have it, and I'm not interested in that relationship at all. At all. But if the thing that's ruling you is God, and God has you in bondage, guess what your life will look like? Bondage. So you got to come out of bondage. That's why the Who is God class is so important. It's important because right there in that class, you're going to drop all that crap. And you're going to ask all your questions. And you're going to find God. You're going to find God. That's important. I have to be good. I can't sin. Have you ever looked at somebody's life who jacked up and it's all good? Just do like this if you have. Yeah, because none of that stuff that you've been taught is applicable. How do I know? Because you can see it in somebody else. If it was applicable, you'd see it. Oh, you got to be holy. You can't do this. You can't do that. You got to do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. That's why you don't have this, because you done did that. But you can look right at your neighbor, and your neighbor got everything you asked for, and they're rats sending food. Because they don't have God in that box. Like you got God in the box. Like people have God in a box. They have really done, y'all don't let me start talking. Y'all know I don't want to talk. I'm going to talk though. But you got to get God out of that space where God is only right here and dealing with you according to what the world says. You know? It's huge discovering God. This is huge, the journey to God. Every time I hear Elisa talk, woo! You wonder why I had to call her right away? I had to call her right away. It's horrible. I gotta suffer. I gotta suffer. What the world? Do you love God? Yes. But God gonna make me suffer. So now you love suffering. Listen to me. Now you love suffering. And your car gonna break down the next day. Absolutely it's gonna break down the next day. If inside your mind you believe it's not the right timing, if you believe you gotta wait on God's time and God causes you to suffer, how can you live in a space where everything is beautiful and amazing? You can't. It's impossible. So you're sitting around like, why can't anything go right in my life? Because you got God in the space where he has you suffering and waiting and being tested. What kind of sickness is that? But you don't know it's sick. You don't know it's sick. Because it wasn't given to you like it was sick. It was given to you all wrapped up in love. So you learn to love suffering. You learn to love waiting. You learn to love to be tested. You learn to love trials and tribulations. You learn to love abuse. because you in here and because our paths have crossed, I can speak freely. We not gonna have no God. That ain't the God I serve. I'm gonna let you know right now. That ain't the God I serve. And the God I serve is right now. He not on. It's not on time. It's right now. It's before I even called.
Yep.
There's no such thing as suffering. I mean, there is if you participate, and it isn't if you don't. So we're gonna do some work with God first. Then we're gonna do some work with what's governing us. Then we're gonna learn us. Then we're gonna do some massive creating. That's what we're going to do. I hope that by taking some of these classes, when you guys do get the call, because there's some partial scholarships coming. They're going to keep coming. There's some that have already gone out, and they're going to keep coming. I hope that when you guys get the call, you see the value in these classes, and that you decide to take the classes, not just to help other people. That's second. But to help yourself. But to help yourself. And to be surrounded by people who have already experienced the God I'm talking about. So that as you find your way to God, because when you find your way to God, it hurts sometimes. Oh, it don't hurt sometimes. It hurts a lot of times. Because you got to release old belief systems that have carried you. And it's hard when you have to release old belief systems. That ain't easy. It ain't easy. And then when you release those old belief systems, you by yourself. This is what I've called, this is what I liken to when people talk about Jesus being on the cross. When Jesus was on the cross, he said, God, why hast thou forsaken me? He felt alone. Because when you are taking away everybody else's belief system away from you, you're there by yourself. And you're now facing what God gave you when you got here. And sometimes that can be scary for those who have already dropped the belief systems. Now that you've dropped the belief systems, what do? I have all this knowledge and I've dropped all these belief systems. Now what? You're still in the right place. Because now you have to live in what you know. Now you have to become the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word. Now you're on your journey to become the Word. And that's hard too. That's not easy. That's hard work. And it's hard because it requires you. See, you can't get to God unless you are ready to see you. You cannot get to God unless you are ready to see you. Let me give you a biblical principle. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. No man gets to the Father except by me. Some people took that thing literal. I don't care whether you take it literal or not. Let's just say you took it literal. The Bible also says, as I am in this world, so shall ye be. So the same path that Jesus had is the same path that you have. Jesus went through himself to get to God. Y'all don't hear me? Jesus went through himself to get to God. Here you are. I'm about to take you on the journey to yourself so you could get to God. Most amazing thing in the world. Most amazing thing in the world. It only works when you're honest with yourself. That's why I always say, I train the most powerful people on the planet. That's the only people I can train. I can't train nobody that's not the most powerful people on the planet. Because you're going to fall out quick or say you ain't doing it. Trust me, I already know. You're going to fall out quick or say you ain't doing it. I only roll with the best. And this ain't got nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with money. I only roll with the most powerful because that's how it is. And in order to hold that crown, you have to be willing to see yourself. You have to be willing to say, yep, that's me. I think like that. Yep, that's exactly how I think. That's exactly who I am. Oh my God, am I being that person? I am that person. Let me change that. I don't like that. You have to be willing to see you to get there. No man gets to the Father except he go by me. So this is not easy. This is not an easy journey. It's a hard journey, but it's the best journey. It's the best journey. So I hope that you guys stay the course in this space. You guys may not receive the full scholarship, but for those who are getting those partial scholarships, don't leave. Stay the course. Stay the course. All right, I'm gone. Y'all let me talk. Y'all know y'all can't let me talk. I get to talking and then things change and I feel like, what? Somebody must have needed to hear that. I know Spirit only allows me to talk when somebody needs to hear. So if you're here, you needed to hear that, just do like this so I know. Okay. Okay. Ashe. Okay. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. There's a person here. I want to say this to you. There's a person here, and I want to say this to you. And I know this is going to sound weird. I'm going to say it to you anyway. And this is going to sound weird. So if it sounds weird, don't worry about it. You'll understand this in a year's time. You'll understand it in a year. Everything that's happening to you is because you spoke it, you wanted it, you desired it, you created it. Even though it hurts right now, it came by your power. We are very powerful beings on earth. We create things even that hurt us, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes intentionally, because we need to extract something out of the experience. But even though it hurts, and even though you can be scared, does not mean that you created it for naught. You created it, and there's a reason. Even when it hurts, you created it, and there's a reason. I share this all the time. I have to share this so you can understand, overstand, and understand. When I was a little girl, people have heard this story before. It's okay. You need to hear it because you haven't heard it. When I was a little girl, my daddy taught me. He said, when you get older, somebody's going to rape you. And when they do, I need you to shut your mouth and don't say a word. Told me that when I was a little girl. I was 9 years old learning that stuff. And he constantly told me that. You're going to get raped. A man is going to rape you. He didn't say might rape you, be safe. He said, you're going to get raped. And when you do, shut your mouth. I was taught that as a little girl. It became something that I knew was going to happen. How many of y'all know I got raped? Just raise your hand. Several times. You know why? Because I knew it. It became something that I knew. So it had to be. It had to be. But guess what? Because of that whole situation, as horrible as it was, and it was horrible every time it happened to me. And I could tell you each time without crying. I used to couldn't tell you without crying. I can tell you each time without crying. Do you know what that situation taught me? It taught me that once I know something, it will be. So everything I know, I try to make it positive. Because I already know what it looks like when it's negative. Everything I know will be. Even in chaos, it will be. Even when it's painful, it will be. So even though this is painful, what you're going through, even though what you're going through is painful, and even though you may be saying, I don't see how this is going to work, how this is going to play out, my life is I just don't know. Even though you're in that space, you have set an itinerary for your life. And you are living out everything that needs to happen to get you there. This is not pain and suffering from God. This is not punishment from God. This is a part of your journey. And there are beautiful things you are going to extract from this posture. So please do not tell yourself, God is punishing me. Do not tell yourself that God has left me. Do not do that, because that is the furthest from the truth. This is a part of your creation to get you to what you have already created for yourself. Please know that. All right. Now I can go. I love you guys so much. I look forward. I hope that all of you guys, in some degree, everyone who gets the invitation, I hope you all join. I really do. And let's do this work together. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And we're going to end it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.